How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about BBIG. I know it ended up having a pullback inside of the market. I was getting the message of Dre, what do you think is going to happen to BBIG? Is it over? Is it done? We need to get an update. So, I got to make sure that I have you guys covered. I still do believe this stock is well due for a spike, and it's part of the reasons why we're going to discuss it. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We did see it pull back, but we also talked about these key levels. And what we were talking about, the $7 range, seeing how well it could hold up $7.50. See where that momentum goes. We did have some strength, and you saw a big time bounce off $6.95. Like I said, these technicals help. Make sure you watch it. And the next thing, we're going to take a look at the short interest information on Fintel. Part of the reasons being is the higher the short interest, the more volatility is inside of this play, so you could be prepared and come up with a game plan. And then afterwards, we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. Were institutions loading up on shares today when BBIG pulled back? We're going to find out. And then when all of that is done, we'll be jumping into the final thoughts and as well as some details that I want to share with everyone. So let's get to it. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for BBIG. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $7.28, being down 6.31%. On the low, it tested $6.95, and then on the high, testing $7.88. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 27.608 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 102.622 million shares. So we see we had below average volume on the day, and this has been fairly consistent. So one thing to keep in mind, this is part of the reasons why we're seeing some pressure on the overall stock, especially since it was choppy today. We also had a lot of selling. Now, when we take a look at the 1-year daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is right around 52.89. So we're getting fairly close in the middle there. And then when we take a look at our moving averages on the chart, we continue to have strength above the 200-day, the 50-day, and you can see here for the 21-day EMA, we ended up actually breaking through it, closing at $7.28. It is at $7.30. And if you guys remember, I was talking about previously in other videos in regards to $7.31 being an area of support. The fact that we closed at $7.28 was good to see. I was also expecting to see how well we could hold up the $7.50 area as well. We were unable to do that, but that is completely fine. And part of the reasons being is we ended up testing $6.95 on the day, and we ended up seeing a strong bounce and a move going to $7.88 before being met with some selling pressure. So what this tells me already, whenever we test this $7 area, and we've done this in the past, there's a lot of buying interest here. So as far as when I was taking a look at after hours before recording this video, I can see we were picking up some momentum. So if we see a recovery and some strength inside of the market, this can have a positive impact on BBIG. So going into tomorrow, the level you want to keep an eye on will be right here at this $8 level. If we can get to this $8 level, now it's a psychological level because we're unable to actually get past it for today, then of course we could see a big time push making a move to here to around $8.35. That's when we'll start getting more traders coming into that play, and then we can look forward to seeing that push going to the $9 range and then seeing where we can go from there. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for BBIG. So scrolling down on the page, the short shares availability is at 350,000, updated 10 minutes ago, and the short ball free rate is at 35.27%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, you can see for the close, which was last week Thursday on the 16th, it was 32.82, and then as far as for the close for the Friday last week, it was at 41.99. So when the numbers come out later on in the evening, I won't be surprised if the short volume ratio increases due to the fact we did see a pullback in the stock. We haven't been getting the amount of volume that we normally have been getting, so shorts are probably saying, hey, we're looking for an opportunity here. So let me know inside of the comments, like I said, to let me know what the updated numbers are. But one thing we do know for sure, BBIG does continue to have short squeeze potential. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for BBIG. So we can see here on the inflow was 43.66, and then on the outflow it was 45.52. So we ended up having an outflow day. So we could see as far as for the breakdown, we had 0 on the large, 28.06 on the medium, and on the small we had 15.60. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 0.27 on the large. On the medium, it was 29.96, and then on the small it was 15.29. So when we take a look at this breakdown very quickly, what we could see clearly, we did have a surplus of buying on the small scale side. So that says there was a lot of retail interest, a lot of retail traders and investors who were purchasing up shares. But when we take a look at the medium and as well as the large, that's where mainly the outflows came from. So yes, now I'm going to cover it. Large scale orders in the last 5 days, the 20th, which was today, being an outflow at 271.80. So keeping this in mind, it has been quite a while since institutions did not load up on any large scale orders for BBIG, and seeing for today that it was mainly for the outflow side is very interesting, and we have to continue to keep an eye on this. One thing what I was talking about inside of the technicals is the volume. The volume has been going down, so we want to see the volume actually start to pick up. Do keep in mind the markets have been very volatile, and due to the fact it is kind of known as like a short squeeze type of play, you got to take into consideration the conditions. Many are going to be selling out of their positions, especially if they've enjoyed a lot of profits, because they are concerned. They don't know what's going to be happening. So I want you to think about the psychological aspect of everything that is going on. But one thing that we do know for a fact, even though we didn't have the amount of volume that we were normally looking for, we still saw some strength and still held down some key support levels. So now let's jump into the final thoughts, and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for BBIG, I'm definitely going to continue to keep this on my radar going into tomorrow. And part of the reasons being is when we went on Fintel, we could see it does continue to have short squeeze potential. And like I was saying, let me know inside of the comments when you have those updated numbers. And then secondly as well, we were able to hold up some very key levels here. I was talking about $7 in the previous video. We went down to $6.95, and then we saw a strong resurgence where we ended up seeing a high of the day of $7.88. So this tells me a lot overall. But one thing, there is going to be a lot of profit taking. Many people, we had a choppy market. They want to make sure, hey, I take some off the table. And this is something that you have to get used to, especially when it comes to volatile plays like these. Also, when we took a look at the order flow, yes, institutions did not load up on the inflow side, which is very different from what we saw in the past. But one thing that is very clear, there's still a lot of demand on the retail side, but there was a good amount of profit taking. Another thing that we want to look forward to is being able to hold up the area of $7.50 going into the open for tomorrow. The reason why this level I feel is very key, then that gives us the opportunity so we can push and make that move to $8 and beat the high that we ended up seeing on the day. I feel like if we're able to do this, we can really start picking up some steam. More traders will start coming into the play, and that will bring the volume up, and then you can see this easily get to 9 and to 10. But the only way that's going to happen is being able to get past those key levels. 750, keep an eye, see some support, make sure you're seeing that buying pressure build up, look for that strong pop. If it does go to 7, then of course you want to see it bounce. If it goes to 695, moving off 695, see how well it moves at 7. If it moves up to 7, goes to 750, you want to pay attention to make sure there's no selling pressure, because that's another area where there's a lot of profit taking. You could take a look at the chart. I covered it inside of the technicals, and passing that particular area can send it up to 8. I just wanted to make sure I repeated that so you guys can have that clear. And now, as far as if you're going to be holding these shares, especially for the long term, because I know many of you say, well, I'm not selling, then by all means continue to do that. Do your homework, do your due diligence about the play, and make sure you're doing the decision that is right for you. Just don't blindly go into doing this. I do get a good amount of messages, and also some people who just came inside the Discord saying, hey, I'm holding a lot of shares of BBIG. Dre, where do you see this going? I am very concerned. So again, do not make that mistake putting your whole entire portfolio in one play, or even a substantial amount of your portfolio. When it comes to these squeeze these type of plays, you really want to limit your exposure, because the main reason why a lot of people end up going into these particular type of plays with a lot of money, they're looking to get rich quick, and that is just not the way to go. Again, you want to be wise about it. I always say this to people when it comes to trading. Are you going to be retiring tomorrow? And then they'll tell me no. So if that is the case, then why have FOMO? Why chase? Why try to get rich quick? It is just not worth it. You want to be able to have a system that is consistent, it is reliable, and you're able to actually follow it day in and day out. And that's how you become a successful trader. So I hope you guys found this video helpful, and we'll be talking real soon.